Our guest today is Afsar Ebrahim, the Deputy Group Managing Partner and International Liaison at BDO. Hi Afsar, can you tell investors, Mark, how has the BDO organized itself since the start of the COVID-19 crisis? How are you operating?
BDO has always responded to market changes, and this is one of the major disruptions in our market. We have built on the capabilities of our outsourcing unit to be able to work from home, and this has led to a major change in the way we work, but the service delivery has been to the point. Productivity has not been as it should have been, but timely deliverables with clients has happened. We are also being very lucky to have a good team of employees, and they have delivered in spite of the circumstances. Some service lines have come to a halt, like receivership, IT, corporate finance. Assignments have been put on hold, but otherwise we have been able to even assist clients with advice about potential restructuring, and we have clearly focused ourselves on the post-COVID. In the meantime, we have managed to capitalize on our high-tech audit approach to make sure that people can work from home and clients' service is not disrupted.
Let's move to the macroeconomic situation. What impact do you think this crisis will have on the Mauritian economy, knowing the high level of public debt and our budget deficit?
The situation we are in is unprecedented in world history. We are now in uncharted territories. What matters at this point in time is the well-being of the population. The economy has taken a backseat. Clearly, we are in a situation where all the countries together are going to press the reset button, and the one who is more nimble and more agile are the ones who is going to move forward. It's very difficult at this stage to assess the impact on the economy. We don't know how long it will last, how deep it will be. But what matters now is we need to look at the situation with a new pair of lenses. We cannot rely on economic theories of the past. We need a new mindset. And more importantly, we need a new paradigm shift to be able to analyze the current situation and take measures which previously was unthinkable. Today, it should become the new normal.
Okay. But as you are aware, Mauritius is very dependent on external capital flows. What do you think will be the most affected sectors by this pandemic?
At first sight, the sectors that are going to be affected are the export manufacturing, construction, and tourism-related activity. What we should not lose sight of that this is first and foremost a health crisis, which will certainly lead to a psychological scar. But how long will this last? It's anybody's guess. What we need at this point in time is to understand how to get over this psychological barrier, which is going to impact us as individuals and therefore as consumers. It will certainly change the consumer behavior. And when consumer behavior changes, it will impact the retail sector. And from the retail sector, the impact would be how the supply chain cope with the changes and how the distribution channel are going to get evolved. What we should not lose sight of is that post the health crisis, we are suffering an economic crisis, and we have to do everything in our powers, and with the support of government, who is already doing a lot, to ensure that the economic crisis doesn't turn into a financial crisis. Because if this happens, then the recovery would be a lot longer and a lot more painful.
So let us cross fingers. But you will agree that our economy has always been dependent on the West. Do you think this crisis will provoke a change of strategy in favor of Africa, for example?
We have always been dependent on Europe, although of late we know that the economic power is shifting to the east. And we have been preparing for this for a while now. If you look at Europe today, it's certainly be the worst state post-COVID. France, Italy, Spain are in serious difficulties. And we look at the UK, even post this current trauma, they will have to sort out their own Brexit. Whereas in Asia, things they have the edge at the current point in time. China and India are not in recession. Their growth has come down, but they are not in recession. the Asian tigers have suffered major financial crisis in 1997 and have got the resilience to cope with the current one. And I'm sure they will bounce back much faster. Now, if you look at the region near us, which is Africa, so far they are keeping their heads above water. And the axis Asia-Africa is where the rebound is going to happen, and the trade is going to pick up much faster than with Europe. And Mauritius currently is well poised to take advantage of this upsurge in this part of the region. However, we're still going to suffer from Europe, which remains a major market, especially for our textile and tourism, because the shift has not happened. But this crisis gives us the opportunity to accelerate our diversification of marketing strategy.
Last question. Are you expecting massive layoffs and business closures post-COVID-19?
With a crisis of this magnitude, layoff is going to be inevitable. We are facing a quadruple shock. Consumer demand is coming down, supply is being disrupted, asset value is being distorted, and consumer behavior is changing. At this point in time, we cannot avoid restructuring companies. What we should bear in mind is a lot of our businesses were already in serious difficulties pre-COVID because either they were facing challenges due to their capital structure, but currently with this crisis, it will come to light those who are suffering from solvency issues. Those who were already on the edge will find it difficult to survive post-COVID. Others will probably go into some difficult liquidity crunch, and based on that, they will require restructuring. But to restructure successfully, we need to change our mindset and stop relying on debt, because this will not help increasing the financial risk and make the company even more vulnerable to shocks. What we need is a change of mindset to go for equity, because that's the only way to solidify the capital structure, solidifies the base on which a business can build on post-COVID. With all the challenges, it's clear that layoff is going to happen, but whether it's going to be temporary or permanent in some companies depends very much on each industry, depends very much on how much capital is injected, and depends very much on how each business market going to respond post-COVID. But what matters at this point in time if there is layoff is how much compassion we can show to those who are going to be laid off.